Hello and welcome everyone. So today's topic is highly sensitive people. Are you a highly sensitive person? Signs of highly sensitive people and what it means and a lot more. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. You can catch me on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts if you're listening to this on the podcast. This is also being made into a YouTube video. If not, check me out on YouTube. There are certain things I do on the podcast that I don't end up doing on YouTube or doing on YouTube that I don't do on the podcast. So you're going to want to be subscribed to both. And go ahead to hectorsalva.com where you can pick up your newsletter, master classes, all kinds of good stuff, tons of other articles that are written and which are neither on the podcast or the YouTube. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube here at Hungan Hector. And once again, hectorsalva.com. So are you a highly sensitive person? Highly sensitive people are really sensitive and open to the energies in their environment and the energies of other people. One type of highly sensitive person is the empath, and being an empath is one type of highly sensitive person. But other individuals aren't empathic, and many people think they're empathic when in reality they haven't really sprung open that ability quite yet. So, highly sensitive people are really sensitive and open and aware and affected by. That's number one thing, is they're affected by the energy of the environment in which they're in. And much of the energy of the environment in which you are in is the energy of the people that you're with. So, highly sensitive people are affected by the energy of others as well. They can find this if you're highly sensitive. Being upon the spiritual path and getting yourself spiritually straightened out is really important. Because if you're a highly sensitive person, it's a mark. It's a mark that you're meant to develop to some degree spiritually. You are open and to some degree unprotected from the energies that are going on around you. That's a truth that people don't want to deal with, but it is so. It's a beautiful blessing if you are highly sensitive, but it can also be very much a curse. And you can experience life as very much a curse. There's lots of negative energies out in the world that do not seek you well. And there are many negative people, and people carry, in general terms, a lot of negativity with them. And is often not meant to, meaning like people don't mean to be that way or do these things. Sometimes it just happens, and it's the nature of life. So if you're a highly sensitive person, you can find being other people or being around other people, being in environments with lots of other people, crowded places, very draining. And it takes a lot of energy from you. However, if you're too sensitive, way too sensitive, it can make it to the point where it's difficult for you to function and for you to function in society or in environments where you have to function or perform where there's lots of other people. So it's important that you understand that there is something as being way too highly sensitive, and it can cause issues and problems. And there's actually a very well integrated, healed, balanced way to be a highly sensitive person in a way that you don't find these things so draining. meaning it doesn't have to be this way. If you are highly sensitive and you're finding everything really draining, need some water. It doesn't have to be that way. And highly sensitive people are also sensitive to, oftentimes, like I spoke of, empathy, the emotions of others, because emotional energy is some of the strongest energy that people put out. So, being really sensitive to the emotions of others, and many people are emotionally volatile, which means that their emotions can be all over the place, or it's really easy for them to get upsetted and angered or heavy in their emotions, depressed, sad, so on and so forth. This can affect a highly sensitive person negatively and again be a very draining, drawing down energy upon that person. Draw basically that highly sensitive person down. When you're overly too highly sensitive, makes it that you tend to absorb a lot of this negativity as well. And that can make those negative things start to unravel in your life. Unfortunately, because of modern day systems, many people who are highly sensitive people go out and do uh, certain spiritual things without the proper foundations, which causes for them to actually take on those problems and those negative energies from those other people and absorb it into their life. So, this can and does happen, and it happens really often. A highly sensitive person is really open to the energies. And in a negative way, that can be that you become very absorbing of the energies, and the energies start to affect you and become part of your life. They not only influence your life, they can integrate into your life and become a part of that. On the positive end, it can make you so that you really deeply understand people and connect with people. There's a negative side to this too. Being highly sensitive can also make it that you don't connect so easily with people, especially if many people are being very surface or speaking on a surface layer or level. You may not have an interest in that, or it may make it difficult for you to connect with individuals and come out of your shell. Because being highly sensitive, if it's been something that's been really heavy on you in a negative fashion, and you've absorbed a lot of negativities from others, so on and so forth, can make you kind of become more and more introverted, which in some ways can be beneficial, but in many ways in life can work against you and what you hope to achieve. So, if you're a highly sensitive person, it's important for you to learn the foundations and get started with proper foundations in the spiritual world, spiritual path, the pathless path, the path of life, right? And these foundations are not something that is taught to you through life. And it's not something that's taught to you generally by others if they don't have it themselves. So it's important for you to get those proper life foundations on how to deal and work with energies and keep yourself clear, as well as having proper protection and having basically, again, the proper foundations so that you're not absorbing the energy or being overly too highly sensitive. Like I said, it can make it so that you're not that well able to function in society, or that you find everything, every last little thing that you have to do out in the world extremely draining and unable to really do what you got to do. So something that happens many times to people who are highly sensitive is that they tend to stay indoors or inside their houses and away from lots of other people. And this is in a way to kind of protect or keep themselves away from all that energy and things of this nature. This actually isn't a really great solution. It's really not a good solution. It can actually make it so that you become even more highly sensitive, and make it even more difficult over time for you to deal with people, etc. It can just kind of like make your high sensitivity, even more. And so there's really a proper way, if you have those proper life foundations, which we offer. And if you need our help because you're a highly sensitive person and you're saying, yeah, Papa Hector, this is me, like I'm a highly sensitive person, right? Then email us, get in contact with us, help at lifeawakeningcenter.com, help at mysticalwork.com, and check us out, because there is proper secret keys to get you like the life you want, things functioning, and so that your high sensitive nature, meaning your hypersensitivity to energies, actually benefits you rather than detracts from your life, rather than takes away from you. This can actually become a really powerful gift if you know how to use it and you have those proper foundations and protections and so on and so forth. Like I said, it could become a very draining bad thing if you don't have those things. So keeping yourself away is not really a solution. There are proper solutions for these things. Being highly sensitive is actually a beautiful thing. So I discussed many of the things that can kind of go on, but it's actually a very beautiful thing. It puts you in touch with certain forces and energies that can be hard for others to tap into if they haven't developed that sensitive nature that is in touch with the energies that are at play. It can allow people to connect with you, and you may even find many people coming to you with their issues or with their problems or wanting to discuss things with you out of nowhere, like even strangers, but this especially happens to spiritual workers or people that are meant to be more deeply on the spiritual path. These things, right? You're going to be in touch with things that are unsaid. And so you're going to know certain things just through the vibes, just through the energies and the vibes that's being given off. And that's a beautiful light that you have that can be developed, like I said, to work with you and work for you and be something that brings rather than takes away from your life. So I hope that this has clarified for you. As always, go ahead and leave any comments below. If you're watching the video, if you're on the podcast, go ahead and email us. We're at help@lifeawakeningcenter.com and help@mysticalwork.com. You can go ahead and find us there. And that's pretty much it. So keep the faith, and I hope you're staying safe.